All right, everybody. We're back for more Cobra Kai and maybe last of the
Yeah.
Cobra Kai
The
discussion
final Cobra
on the
Kai.
Covert Nerd podcast. So, again, we have Jesse and Ruth, or Kiefer Kai, as he's
Yeah.
known. So, Kiefer Kai is Stingray your sensei?
Just rewatching the first part of the season 6, it's like uh it's a lot of fun that he shows up and the way he shows up in season 6. So I kind of liked him in season 6. So I would take that. I would take that.
Yeah.
It'd be fine. I wouldn't call him my sensei, but I'd be all right.
So, if you don't know, we've gone through all of the seasons of Cobra Kai. We do a long discussion or a discussion about them, and we do predictions. And it's been a fun run. So this may or may not be the final run. We'll see. Because after all, Cobra Kai never dies. So
Ever.
we don't know.
Right.
Ever. We're gonna get Cobra Kai, the geriatric edition, where Johnny and Daniel are 88 years old in a nursing home, and that'd be great.
Well, how old is Machio now?
Yeah, yes.
60 or something? I don't know.
Yeah, he's like early 60s, I think. Like,
I just want to have his hair when I get that old.
exactly. I know.
He's got a whole head of hair. Looking good, man.
Yes. So we'll start with predictions. So I went back to season 5, our episode, and we always predict what we think will happen and what we want to happen in season 6.
I feel like we nailed it.
We nailed it. Yeah.
all of these things happened, I'm sure.
I should have put everybody's name next to these. I didn't. So predictions. We thought Julie from Karate Kid 4 would show up. I think that might have been Jesse, but I'm not sure.
I really thought since it was going to be global,
Yeah.
and I even know how they would have done it if they could have worked it in. I mean, like it was globally televised, and so to hear Miyagi's name on the TV would have been obvious, but that'd be an easy, obvious way to get her involved. But from what I understood, the only reason she wasn't there is it just didn't work out, so they just pushed forward.
So she wasn't opposed to it.
She wasn't opposed to it. She just, I think it was just a scheduling thing. And it was always a thing where, like, if it happens, it happens. But if we can't make it happen, then we're just going to make the best show we can.
I think you should have, it's like, at least do like a 2-minute cameo, if nothing less. That would have been one day on set at the most.
Sure. Or even just, I mean, you could still make the reference. You could have, like, I don't even know how you do it, but you could have had her call in or something. I don't know. Could have even just been an audio thing, like a phone call.
Yeah, calls Daniel or something like that. Yeah, that would have been cool. The world tournament for the finale. I mean, that was pretty much a given. Obviously, we knew that. Kenny versus Anthony in the tournament. That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that.
We had a pretty interesting payoff for those two characters, but it definitely wasn't what I would have predicted.
No. Tori versus Devin in the tournament. That would have been good.
Yeah.
So Robbie will win the men's title since he hasn't won a title yet.
Wouldn't that be great?
That was a story beat. That he's always second best.
Yes. Chosen and Kamiko will get together. That one was that was great, by the way.
I actually really like that romance.
Yeah. That was kind of hinted at. I don't remember in season. I don't remember them referencing it in season 5 at all. Was there a hint in season 5 that you remember of those two getting together?
Well, Kumiko was the Karate Kid 2 character. So
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so they didn't get together.
Yeah, never mind. I was way off on that one. I was confusing my characters. Kreese will be free because he was falsely accused. That was not what they did. I mean, he broke out of prison, essentially.
Yeah.
And nobody cared. In season 6, we're not like, hey, you broke out of prison.
Yeah. They just kind of mentioned, like, hey, dude, aren't you a fugitive? And he's like, I'm very hard to find.
Yeah.
Very hard to catch. Kreese.
Chosen will give Johnny a weird baby gift like a sword. That was Jesse, I remember. We didn't see that, but that would have been great.
I was going to say, did that happen? I don't know that there was a baby gift. So
It didn't. There wasn't. That would have been awesome, like a sword or a sai or something like that.
yeah.
Would've been
And I don't know if he was hilarious in the delivery room, but he was definitely Johnny.
Oh yeah. He was Johnny. Yeah. Kidnapped Johnny's baby and says if he does not pull out of the tournament, he will never see his kids. Well, that was hinted
That kind of
at.
happened.
Sort of.
Almost happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that was not off the table. So whoever predicted that, you were very close. So Sensei Kim owns 50% of Cobra Kai. Her and Kreese will have a smaller Cobra Kai dojo. She will bring Santo's son. She'll bring people from Korea. So that one was very accurate.
Very close, yeah. The exception of Sato.
Yeah.
But we did get a Sato nod with him with Chosen trying to break that thing in the beginning of 6.
Or the big log thing. Yeah. I don't think they'll kill off any main characters. They have not done that yet. That one.
Whoa.
It's like, well, that one's a little off, but that was a good prediction. I kind of thought that too. I didn't think they'd kill anybody off, but they're already hinting at, Kreese or Martin Cove saying, well, is he really dead?
Oh my gosh.
Kreese really dead? What happened right before the explosion?
It's so over the top.
This one was a good one. I think this one might have been Jesse too. How about Kreese finds a bunch of old letters from his girlfriends that were never delivered, telling him to be a better person because she's pregnant, and that finally breaks Kreese. I think that would have been good, but I can see why they wouldn't have done it, based on how much they cram into this last season. But they really just dropped that storyline entirely. They just don't go back to. Yeah, the girlfriend is just there's no mention of her after season 2 or whatever it was, where they kind of dig into his backstory. Yeah. And then we had some wishes on season 6. Season 6 needs to be the end. That was, I think, unanimous by all three of us. Like,
yes,
this needs to be
please.
the last. Mm-hmm. I want Johnny and Daniel to open an official Miyagi dojo together. This one was mine, and I like this one. Daniel buys his old apartment complex, and after a visit to Miyagi's grave, he goes to Mr. Miyagi's office to do some cleanup, and a kid stops by. ...
Maybe we'll get that in the movie.
That's true. We can get that in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Another one that I know was mine is the kids go their separate ways, but one final night at Mr. Miyagi's training area, the original cast, they laugh and talk about their old memories, and then it pans to a picture of Daniel and Mr. Miyagi on the wall, and then lastly to the picture of Johnny and Daniel at the World Tournament, and then dissolves. So that would have been
a good ending.
Yes, all of those wishes are good closure bits, and that's interesting that we didn't really get that. We kind of got more of a life goes on kind of ending.
Yeah, still good ending. They did good, but so all right, here we're gonna get to it. The overall opinion of the final season. So let's do the kind of elevator summary of opinions on the final season, then we'll kind of dive into the more details. We'll start with ladies first. Ruth, give us your 1 to 2 minute overall opinion of season 6, and then we'll get into the meat and taters of season 6.
Right. Well, first off, I want to start by saying I didn't really like how they divided it into 3 different parts, because it was very disorienting as a viewer. Because I'm like, wait, which parts were season 5 and which parts were season 6? But this was split up this way. It was very confusing as a viewer to watch. So you'd have to go back and rewatch the first episodes from part 1, so you remember everything that happened, so you can watch part 2. And it didn't feel very cohesive for the story. I did like what they did with the Senkai Tenkai. It just took a while to get there. There was a lot of filler. I remember there was a bit more filler. I think it was in part 3. There was a huge chunk of filler for the first part, just building up, which it could have been just there because we have to build up everything that's going to happen for the last 2 or 3 episodes. But I remember watching it and just feeling so slow. Everything is happening, but also nothing is happening at the same time.
Yes.
Yep.
There were some character flaws that I didn't like that they added to some characters. I felt like it really weakened certain characters, like Sam and Robbie, especially. Some choices they made throughout the season, which I feel like didn't get the conclusion that I wanted on some characters. But the overall ending of the season didn't feel like a wrap up of the season, like we said before. It kind of felt like, oh, well, maybe we can come back and visit this at some point. So that's probably why they didn't wrap it up how we wanted, because they're like, maybe in a few years we'll come back.
Right.
But yeah, overall, it is not rated at my highest, like my favorite season. It's a little lower on the list for me.
Okay. How about you, Jesse? Overall 2-minute opinion of season 6.
I'm going to echo a lot of the same things that Ruth said. First and foremost being the splits, because I had to rewatch the first part because I didn't remember. I remembered the basics of it, but like in order to have a good in-depth conversation about this season, I needed to go back and rewatch the first part because I basically remembered the second part because it's crazy pants and it's hard to forget. And then third part is fresh in my mind because we just watched it. But the first part is where it all gets set up. And I would say that after rewatching the first part, I now understand some things that happened in the third part and even in the second part. And they do some fun foreshadowing. Like it's almost a little too heavy-handed with the foreshadowing in the first part of season 6 because they just they kind of spell a lot of things out. And they give you some red herrings and whatnot, but like, oh yeah, what if you did this? There's a lot there, and maybe we'll circle back to that. So I like it, but there's some interesting stuff that happens, and it suffered from that score creep thing. It suffered from this is our last chance to squeeze anything we could have possibly wanted to put in here. And then they added some layers that were good just to give like Daniel some tension, but because otherwise I don't know what Daniel would have done. It would have been redundant. It would have been him doing all the same things he's done for all the other seasons, but then they had to bring some weird new wrinkle to Miyagi, and I don't totally they think they did an okay job of paying that off, but I also feel like it was too much, a little unnecessary, and it did cool things for tension in Daniel, but that's about it. And it created some, I don't know, it was kind of a strange choice. So I would also agree it's definitely not my top season, but I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I've said that about every single season, even the ones that are going to be way down on my list.
Yeah We have to talk about it though. I got to get you guys' opinion on the AI Mr. Miyagi.
I was saving that one, but yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead, Jesse. Go ahead.
Oh man, yeah, I hate it. I just hate it. It was I was like, I know what they're doing here, but like, also to save it for the last season, like there was no precedent for it. They'd done much more clever things to incorporate Miyagi in the past of the season or of the series, and then all of a sudden at the end we're like, oh no, we're gonna pull the trigger and we're gonna make an AI CGI something of we're gonna do a deep fake, and it's gonna be so obviously a deep fake that it's blah.
How about you, Ruth?
I just feel like it really brings me out of the show because I know that it's just an AI Miyagi. It doesn't add anything. In fact, it makes me not like Miyagi as much because they try and add all of this extra stuff that isn't necessary because you already like the character. He's already a character that's been built up for multiple movies and a little bit throughout the series. So I get annoyed when they kind of beat a character or a storyline into the ground. And I think that is a very good example of it. But yeah, maybe it was just there so Daniel had something to do for the entire season because what else was he gonna do?
Yeah.
I told Ruth that they could have, if they wanted to do something with Mr. Miyagi, giving him some sort of advice, there's probably some deleted scenes from the 3 movies that they could have, I don't know, spliced together, or just do what he's done before, where he just goes to Miyagi's grave and just kind of talks out loud to him. I don't know. But you're right. I think Daniel was kind of nothing left for him to do, like you said. pretty
Right.
much.
He's already had a conclusion to his arc, so he's kind of just besides with Johnny, that's the only thing he hasn't wrapped up with his
Yeah.
character.
Yeah. How about the laser tag AR training?
Oh,
The little laser tag. Ruth wouldn't know what laser tag is, but I know
Right.
right away. The laser tag thing on his chest, the AR.
I didn't totally hate the idea of it, but it was so like that's not how computers work. That's not how like man, you couldn't fight with a VR set on your head. No way. You'd be so discombobulated. And that's not how VR sets work either. It's not like AR, which is essentially what they did. They did a VR AR like splicing,
Combination.
you know? Like you could not fight with it, like actual VR. No.
Well, I know the writers, they have to come up with these crazy training sessions.
Sure.
I'm like, this is the one you decided on. You probably had
Right.
10 in front of you.
Just give us another Johnny training session. Those are always funnier anyways. Put him in a cement truck.
Yeah, exactly. Put him back in the cement truck.
Yeah.
Oh man. But the Mr. Miyagi murdering somebody and he was in the Saikai Taikai. That was okay, but the payoff was a little weird with the pearls at the end.
Yeah.
I thought. But what about a favorite character from season 6? Who did you like the best out of season 6?
Oh, from season
season
6
6
exclusively?
Yeah, that's
What do you think?
okay.
I have a series favorite character.
Okay.
Let me think
what
about
about
season 6.
how about any standout characters or any storylines or scenes from season 6 that you like? Like I like the Elizabeth Berkley from Saved by the Bell and Chosen Date.
Yeah, that was fun. And she happens to
was
be like Moon's mom or something.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was a funny little cameo from a 90s TV star, and I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah, not really like a favorite character, but I did love Johnny's attempt to drive a wedge between Sam and Tori in the first part where he has a slumber party because girls are
awesome.
easy. Like that may be one of my favorite things of season 6 is when Johnny tries to come up with a solution for a problem that isn't actually a problem, but then it actually kind of works out.
Yeah. What about killing Kreese and Silver? What do you guys think on that, Ruth? What do you think? Should they have done that? Should they not have done that?
I think they needed to leave the series in some way, and I'm glad that they killed them off, and I hope that they stay away because they are very overused, and I'm kind of tired of. I want a new villain, right? It was basically like roughly the same 2 villains throughout the whole series would come in and out. Now there were some like the newest dojo,
Wolf.
Yes. And some came in and out, some of the characters were antagonists switching to protagonists throughout the series, but it was mainly them. It was mainly Kreese and Silver throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad when they finally possibly maybe killed them off. Who knows? They're writing.
Yeah. What do you think, Jesse?
I would agree just because they painted themselves into a corner with those 2 characters. Like, yes, I feel like Kreese was Kreese didn't need to die because he was already deciding to ride off into the sunset. But it's Kreese, so he's gotta go out in a blaze of glory, and he literally did. And Silver, like, man, he just until we saw an explosion, we weren't gonna believe he was dead. We still don't really, just because it's those 2.
What do you think about the Johnny and Kreese crying apology thing? Did you like that? Did you not like that? Or was it just kind of meh or what?
I was probably I liked it mainly because it was like maybe the best acting of and I think that Zabka's good, but that man, he nailed it. And really, I think that Martin Cove nailed it pretty well too. Like that scene was probably one of the better acted pieces in the whole season.
I agree. They did it very skillfully.
I'm kind of on the fence on that. I'm like, Kreese is still the backstabbing villain. You watch in every season, he's just stabbing Johnny in the back all the time. I'm like, yeah, but do I believe you this time?
Oh, sure.
we've heard Kreese apologize before, and so I'm just like, I know why they did it because they're going to kill him off, so we need that closure. But I'm just like, it's Kreese, you know. He's,
For me, that scene is almost more the growth that Johnny has had, because
Johnny.
this is the first time that Johnny is just boldly and openly like wearing his heart on the sleeve and admitting that he how much he needed Kreese. And even though we've kind of had similar scenes like this between those two, this is where he's just like, all facade is down, and got emotional about it. And I was like, okay, I believe it, that there's a new layer to this time.
I kind of like how he apologizes to Tori too. So I almost kind of like the Tori Kreese combination.
Yeah. Yeah, they had a great chemistry. They were surprisingly good characters together, and every time that they worked together, it was like they both did and didn't trust each other at the same time. Yeah. It was a weird dynamic that worked. Yeah, rewatching the first part of season 6, I was like, oh yeah, this is an interesting dynamic, and she really does have a pseudo Johnny relationship with Kreese that nobody else has.
I think one of us on one episode theorized that Kreese was her father, or we thought that would be funny.
Oh,
Kreese was Tori's father.
As believable as anything else.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to just the overall series. I think we all kind of agree that season 6 needs to be the final, and I thought they ended it okay. I think I'm partial, I guess, to my opinion on some of the ways they should have ended it, but overall good. All right. What are your two let's just do overall opinion of the series first. What's your overall opinion of Cobra Kai, all 6 seasons? What do you think after we've kind of finished here? Let's start with Jesse on that one.
I'm glad it exists. That's
Okay.
that's that's the short version. Is I really enjoyed it. It sure gave me something to look forward to. It was groundbreaking in the fact that it started as a YouTube Red show. Mm-hmm. You had some episodes that were like literally 15 minutes long or something like that. I mean, like, man, it changed the game in some ways. So I'm glad it exists.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Ruth?
I am also glad it exists. It does expand on the Karate Kid world in a way I like, because most series like Cobra Kai, I think, are very unnecessary and don't need to exist. But in this case, it's actually done fairly well. I kind of wish they capped it off at season 4, maybe season 5. Yes. I think that would have been good. But they were just trying to keep it going. I also like how it dives into more Johnny's side as well. So, because we get a lot of Daniel throughout the Karate Kid series. So we get a little bit more Johnny. And then you're also adding to the universe with Miguel, Robbie, Sam, Tori, all of those characters. And I like all of them. They're not just unnecessary adds to the universe. So I am glad that they continued the show. And then also we get more Cobra Kai merch because Cobra Kai is popular.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. I thought it's a fun series that you can't take too serious, though. This isn't going to be highbrow. It's going to be suspending your disbelief on a lot of things. But I agree with Ruth. I think season 4 or season 5 probably would have been good enough. I don't know that you needed a season 6.
Yeah, it could have, like, in hindsight, this whole series could do with like a edit, like a director's cut where you take out the fluff, because there's a lot of fluff.
There's a lot of fluff. Yeah. You could have taken some of the aspects from season 6 and crammed it into season 5 and take some stuff out of 5 and would have been fine. So overall, though, I liked it. I can see myself sometime watching this again in a couple years and like, hey, I'm just gonna go watch Cobra Kai again. I think it would have been fine. It's something that, like some TV series I've watched, I've never watched again, but this one I can see maybe coming back to it.
Sure.
It's one of those. All right. How about your two favorite characters, Ruth, from the series?
From the series, two favorites are Johnny. By the end, I really like Johnny.
Okay.
At the beginning, I was a little unsure because Johnny is Johnny.
Yeah.
But rewatching and rethinking about how he started from season 1, and he's just trying to start Cobra Kai, and it gets out of hand so quickly, but he also realizes that the old ways of Cobra Kai are not the way that the dojo should be run. Now, I really like that story arc with him, how he tries to get his life together, has a baby, all those things. He's got his flaws for sure, but I actually really like Johnny's character, and I think he has more depth to him than Daniel. A lot of Daniel's decisions I don't really get as much. I don't empathize with Daniel as much as I do Johnny. Also Miguel. Miguel is a great character. He's a very interesting character. Once again, has a lot of depth. And I also like those two's relationship as it evolves throughout the show, because I think it's like season 1, they start training together and they stay together. I don't think there's really much conflict. Like there's some rough patches, but not huge conflicts between them. So yeah, those are probably my top 2.
So Miguel and Johnny. Okay. How about you, Jesse? Two favorite characters from the series.
Well, I'm just going pure favorite. So this is just total biased nonsense, really. Because the kids, this is where I'm going to fall short, is the like I should have a favorite of the kids. The kids are just like, they're the legacy. They're going to be what continues forward from the show. And so my favorite characters, Johnny, again, number 1 with a bullet, for all the reasons that Ruth said. And then also just he's entertaining. He's just a joy to watch. And then Chosen became one of my favorites, just because it was like, I just thought he was just going to be there for a little bit. And he just continued to bring something to the show and the vibe of everything that I didn't expect. Like, he's just like, I'm just going to take off after this guy down the alley and I'm going to tackle him. Listen, you're going to go that way and I'm going to go this way. And Daniel's like, what, we're running plays now? And it was just like this fun dynamic to see. Not just Johnny constantly keeping Daniel on his toes, but even the people that Daniel chooses to bring into the picture, keeping him on his toes. And I think that he wound up adding a layer to Daniel. Again, it was like everybody just had to add to Daniel, because he almost was the weakest character in terms of like, this didn't do anything good for Daniel at all, really. It just kind of ruined his life. It just kind of was like, look, I was making money. I was raising my kids. If it improved anyone's life, it was just that Anthony is a little less of a jerk, and Samantha's less of a princess, and she's maybe got a better head on her shoulder than when she started. So yeah, I would go with Chosen because of all the fun that he adds for Daniel's side, and Johnny because he's Johnny.
Because he's Johnny. Okay. I'm going to go with Terry Silver as one. I didn't think I would like to see him again when they talked about it, but he's a good villain. So
he's a great actor too.
Yeah.
I can see why. No shade for that choice.
No, he plays the villain well. And then kind of a silly character I'd like is Stingray, because we all know a Stingray, or we are the Stingray.
That's what I was like. Yeah. Either you know a Stingray, or if you can't think of one, it's because you're Stingray.
He's just that guy that has really no filter, and he's just goofy.
I thought about putting Stingray on my list.
Yeah, he just wants to be the life of the party, but he just can't quite get there.
Yeah.
You feel bad for him, but then you just laugh.
Like I said, I like him in season 6. Like, he kind of finally found his way. He kind of finally found his niche in the valley.
His final season, his mom calls him. He has to go pick her up.
Yeah.
So good. Well, how about your least favorite characters from the season or series? Sorry, from the series, Ruth.
Well, we all know I talk about her every season. I don't like Sam.
I knew it.
I read some articles online that was like, oh, it's just because she knows when to back down from a fight, and I'm like, I don't know. That still doesn't. Maybe it's just because of everything else she does. I still don't like that that's her choices that she makes. And her backing down from the fight in the last season, I really didn't like. I didn't really want to see her fight too badly, so I was glad that we got to see Tori. But
Mhm.
I was also confused why Sam was even, I don't know. She had to be, I guess, the woman's champion. So that's why she was there. But I felt like that was a great weakness to her character because, like, oh, she's going to fight. Actually, she's going to back down and she's not going to fight at all. And then there was that weird romance with that Iron Dragon guy.
Yeah, Axel. Yeah.
Yeah, Axel, which
Yeah.
I didn't like because I don't know. There's just not. And then she went to school in Okinawa too.
Okinawa.
And
Yeah.
I didn't fully know. I don't know because she uses karate and she has done karate for most of her life, but it didn't feel like that was her defining thing that she wanted to do after high school.
Yeah.
So I thought that was an odd choice as well. I don't know. I feel like I'm neutral with her, but I am probably going to talk bad about her most of the time. I'm trying to see the good parts of Sam, but I just don't like her very much as a woman in the
She's kinda
show.
like
I do like Tori
Daniel.
though.
Yeah, she's kind of like Daniel in the last season. It's like you could probably cut Daniel and Sam out, and the story would be fine for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
They're literally there to be LaRussos.
Yeah, that's it. Daniel would be harder to cut, but you could probably cut Sam out of season 6, and you really wouldn't miss her too much.
No. Other characters, I couldn't figure out which one I like the least. It would either be Anthony or Devin. Because it's just, I don't know. I don't like that Devin cheated to get into the national championship.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just not. And then, Anthony's kind of just a bully. So I don't really like either of those characters.
Right.
You're not a LaRusso fan, are you?
I guess I'm not. They need to get better character traits.
It's that
Well, how about
Jersey.
you, Jesse? What about your favorite?
Okay, so again, I'm gonna start with an easy one. It's kind of a low-hanging fruit one, but CGI Miyagi.
Okay.
That was
That's
my
a good
least,
one.
that's my least
That's a good
favorite
one.
character by far. And then the other one, and I don't know. It
Hold
seems
on,
like
Jesse, the CGI Miyagi. Were you did you about punch the screen when you saw this? You're like, what?
Oh man, I mean, like I was gonna give it a chance, but it's like Ruth mentioned earlier. It just totally takes you out of it. Like you stop actually paying attention, and if they were gonna do it, I feel like they thought this through well enough. There's like, okay, yeah, this is the place to put it. It's a dream, but it's a dream. You could have done the thing you'd been doing the entire series with, like you just see him from behind or that kind of thing.
That's what I was just gonna ask you. Would you have been okay with it if they didn't show his face?
Yeah, because this is a dream. I'm sure, of course, he's gonna have dreams of Miyagi. But then he had to be like talking to him, and then I'm just like listening to the voice to see how good of a job they did with the voice, and then I'm seeing the face and and if it's not perfect, then don't do it.
Well,
like
here's the way you could have done it. I'm just thinking out loud. You could have done the fight scene from behind, and then you could have just shot from kind of a 3/4 shot, top side, and then
Mhm.
Daniel and Mr. Miyagi just bow to each other, and then Miyagi just fades away
Yeah.
after the fight.
They could have. I think it needed more thought, and execution just wasn't there for me. And I gotta imagine that I think most people are probably in the same opinion as we are. I mean, I don't think there's probably too many people that were like, you know what, nailed it, great job, good idea. I doubt it. I'm very skeptical of that. And then the other one. Or did you guys have anything else to say about CGI Miyagi? Because that's yeah. The other one is like, I don't know, like you kind of need her because she's like, I don't know, she feels like such a throwaway character past season 1. It's Jasmine. Why is she back? Just to make Dimitri more of a scumbag in season 6? Is that it?
Like, you're right. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah. Like, I just didn't like her past really past season 1, or I guess when it was fun to have her and Dimitri hook up in the first place, but beyond that, she's just arm candy for Dimitri, and it's kind of insulting.
Yeah. We already got the idea that now he can get a girl, and
Yeah.
so you're just kind of stretching it further than you really need to. Yeah,
Right.
that's a good. Well, my 2 least favorite is Axel in season 6. Why? Other than you're building him up as the big bad boy, but we really don't. We didn't need the Sam Axel thing. That was like
No.
Ruth said. He didn't seem like a believable villain for whatever
They
reason.
tried to make him an Ivan Drago because they do this whole like Rocky theme throughout season 6. They even the music starts to sound like Rocky music.
It does.
And they mention Rocky 4 in the first part, and when Johnny's gonna train for the Chosen fight, and like they did this whole thing, but it's like, yeah, but he's not. And you had a whole movie to build up Ivan Drago, and you don't have that for Axel.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not an Ivan Drago. Yeah, that throwback to season 6. I do kind of like the Rocky montage, and then the music "You're the Best Around" they put back in.
Oh yeah.
A nod to the movie. That was kind of fun. And then another one was Miguel's father, useless character and plot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
good
that was
point.
Useless.
Don't we all remember, Miguel's dad?
Oh man, I may have to change my answer for a future question here.
Yeah, I thought that was a whole useless character and plot line that we didn't even need.
Yeah.
So that's one that you could have taken 2 episodes out, or however long it took for them to go to Mexico and do that whole thing, and then we could have crunched it down to maybe 5 seasons, or would have been able to fit it in.
Yeah.
Maybe. So those 2 are my least favorite characters. So how about story arcs? Jesse, 2.
Oh, see, that's the one I had to rethink, because now I'm like, maybe that whole Mexico trip was a bad idea. Like, it made sense as a cliffhanger. It was a great idea. And then they opened the next season and it was dumb and pointless. So I mean, like, yeah, that's definitely going to be that's got to be an honorable mention, and almost could be a substitute for the ones that I chose. But I am going to say the Iron Dragons in general. And I know why we had them. I know why we needed them, but I think they were a dumb story arc. Like they're only there to get Terry Silver back into the story.
Yes.
So
I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but in season 6, I when they killed off Silver and Kreese, why didn't anybody from the Iron Dragon wonder where he went? But they did. They're like, "Where's Terry?" But that was it. Nobody.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then because I was having a hard time thinking of what would be another one that I don't like, and I think the other one that I don't like is just like this whole meandering plot line for Robbie Keane. Where he joins Cobra Kai after he comes out of juvie. Like that whole part of his story was like, we don't know what to do with Robbie right now, so we're just gonna park him with Kreese, because of course all roads are gonna have to lead to Kreese somehow, somewhere. And it just felt like after being with LaRusso for so long, he's not going to choose LaRusso. He's not going to choose his dad. He's going to choose Kreese, and he's just going to live in the back room of Johnny's old dojo. Like that storyline still sticks in my craw a little bit. It like they used it to an okay effect, but it's like, I don't get it. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't know what to do with him. Kind of like Daniel in the last season. Yeah. What about the other? Did you do 2 story arcs?
Yeah, the Iron Dragons, just in general.
Dragon. Okay, sorry, just Iron Dragon.
Yeah.
How about you, Ruth? What was the 2 least favorite story arcs from the entire series?
We've already touched on both of these, but on my original list, I did have Miguel seeing his dad as my least favorite story arc, because once again, it is a good way to leave a cliffhanger in the season, but it just didn't go anywhere, and also it didn't have to be there. I never had that question as a viewer. Miguel never had that question throughout the series. It just seemed kind of random to put it. I guess it was just, oh, we got to make a cliffhanger so people come back. So we're going to have Miguel's dad. But I don't know. I never had that question. And I don't know. Miguel's family life was fine. So I didn't really feel that hole needed to be filled by him trying to find his real dad. He already has a father figure with Johnny. Yes, he was upset at the time, but it just, I don't know. I didn't like it. It didn't do anything. Maybe I'd like it if they tried a little bit harder, but that's one of those plot points that they were like, oh my gosh, we have to have more content because we only wrote up until like season 3 or season 4. So now we got to insert this plot point. There's a lot of plot points throughout like season 5 and season 6 that you can tell they were not ready. They were not trying to prolong the plot from season 1 to season whatever. Didn't like that. And we already talked about the whole Miyagi soiled reputation thing. We don't need it. It wasn't necessary. Didn't add anything to Miyagi. I feel like it didn't really do that much for Daniel either, because it was like, oh no, it was a scandal. Oh, it's actually all fine, and now I completely understand it. I just feel like you didn't think about either of the characters differently after the story arc was concluded, so I didn't really see a point to it.
There was no connecting fibers with that whole murder thing. The Saikai Taikai thing was that was okay, saying he participated in that. That would have been fine.
That's
I do
fine.
like that.
Yeah.
That was fine. But there's this secret trap door under Miyagi's house that Daniel's been
never ever seen. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
I did remember that I was going to cross off that Robbie Keane one and do a different one that bugged me way more.
Okay, which one?
The way they resolve the Sakai Tekai is so dumb. Yeah. So dumb. Doesn't make any karate sense at all. Like, that's not the way it would work. So
fighting each other, you mean?
Yes, the coaches having to do a fight. That's not how that works. Like, if you went back to the original movie and it was like, well, okay, it came down to a tie, so we're gonna have Kreese and Miyagi fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Regardless of age, size, gender, whatever. Like, it's so dumb. So dumb.
So would you have had just resolve the tournament with the kids then? Well, that
it would be like best 2 out of 3 is what they would do. Yeah, they would keep the champions going is what they would do.
So you can still have Johnny and Wolf fight after the tournament, maybe. You're like, hey, catch them in the parking lot type fight.
Sure. I suppose. I mean, like, but also we didn't have enough. Like, Wolf didn't have enough screen time to even warrant that. Like, no. It was again another. The only reason to do it is because of the Rocky IV vibes at the very beginning of the season. Paying that off is the only reason to do this, and because we had always talked about, ever since like season 1, we talked about how it's the under 18 All Valley tournament. And so, like, they kind of nodded to this idea that, oh, maybe the adults will fight sometime. And, like, that is the only reason to do any of it. And by the time we get to season 6, I don't want that anymore. I want the kids to have that moment because they're the ones doing the karate in the show. Everything that the adults are doing, sure, it's karate adjacent, but the adults are the drama. The kids are the karate.
Do you suppose they did that though to give Johnny his title? He won the tournament. And, that whole
to give him the boost he needed to finally get out from under the shadow of the All Valley tournament that he lost over 35 to 40 years ago. But other than that, it's dumb. It's not the dumbest thing in the whole series, but it's dumb.
So yeah, my 2 least favorite was the Miguel's father storyline and the Mr. Miyagi murder thing. So I echoed yours too. But what about your favorite story arcs from the series? Your 2 favorite, Ruth. What are your 2 favorite story arcs from all 6 seasons?
I do like the development of Cobra Kai through each season. It's a little messy as you continue through the season. You know, it's like Johnny, and then it's Kreese, and then it's Silver, and then I think Kim gets it for a little bit. I don't know. It's really, really messy. There's a lot of development for it. But I do really like where it starts, like season 1, season 2, and then where it ends in season 6. I just really like how they wrapped it all up with Cobra Kai. I'm kind of glad that they didn't like try and merge it with Miyagi-Do. It kind of stayed as its own thing.
Yes.
So I really like that throughout the series. And then I also really like Johnny and Daniel's relationship throughout the series. I'm glad how they concluded that as well. How they're complete enemies and rivals at the beginning. Then it all wraps up where they know their differences, but they also know how to help each other and become friends by the end. Especially since they're such well-loved characters. So, yeah.
Okay. What about you, Jesse? 2 favorite story arcs.
So my like probably I would echo a lot of what Ruth said. In that, like, my first favorite is how they start the series with Johnny being completely down on his luck, like being a handyman for hire, seeing LaRusso just have it all, and then like coming out on top as Cobra Kai, and suddenly everybody wants to join that dojo kind of thing. Like, that first opening story beat is so strong that we wouldn't even be talking about this today if they didn't nail it in that first season. Then I think beyond that, it all is, it's all kind of samey for me. It's like everything else is kind of on the same level. But then I did love, I would say probably second favorite story arc, even though he wasn't like one of my favorite characters. It was probably how they brought Terry Silver into the series and watching him go from kind of just a chill Californian billionaire, just this chill dude who's just really enjoying the finer things of life, even if he's or sort of enjoying them, obviously not totally fulfilled, but just kind of doing it, playing it safe now, and then turning full Terry Silver before the end. I was like, watching that storyline unfold was just redonkulous and delight to watch.
Yeah.
Even if it made no sense.
That's why he was one of my favorite characters. Like, you're not going to pull this off. You can't make Terry Silver come back. He was not a great villain, but like, holy cow, you did.
Oh, he's so much better in Cobra Kai than he ever was in 3.
Yeah. 100% agree. For me, the best story arc, because of nostalgia, I would say the Allie, Daniel, Johnny in season 3, pulling all of them together for what, episode and a half or 2 episodes, whatever it was.
Definitely best cameo of the series.
Oh, that whole thing was just fun. I rewatched it again. I'm like, I kind of like this, just for a brief half episode or so.
Mm-hmm.
They're all 3 together, and then Johnny kind of thinking about putting the moves on her again and stuff like that. And so that was really good. And then second would be pretty much anything Chosen. Chosen's just him with Elizabeth Berkley, him and Kim trying to hide they're running around together. Season 6.
I love it.
Swimming naked in Daniel's pool. That was hilarious. Season 2 or season 3, whichever one that was, and just, oh man, so good. And he's just like, Jesse said, he's always like, yep, we'll just go in there and beat him up. Right. He doesn't think. He's like, yeah, we'll take him out.
Or he'll show up at the Saikai Taikai mixer drunk.
Yes.
Just like, man, yes, Johnny was unpredictable, but so was Chosen. And you think that Chosen's got his life totally together when you see him in like season 2 or 3, but boy, howdy, he does not.
He does not. Yes. So that's almost a character / story arc, but just the way they use him, he was well used, I think. We talked about Daniel not being well used in season 6, but I can't really think of many scenes or story arcs with Chosen that were not good. I mean, they seem to use him very well. So he's one of the better used characters, I think. So I already know Ruth's answer, but on this one, how about overused characters? What are some we could have used a lot less of ... Ruth. I kind of already know your answer, but.
Well, I actually wrote down Silver and Kreese.
Oh, okay.
So, but I do want to touch on Sam. I think she's just there for romance. I'm like thinking about it more because she's just there. Like, I think it's like season 1 or season 2. She's with Robbie. And then after that, she gets with Miguel. and then she gets into another role, or there's like another love triangle forming. She feels like she's just there for romance, but
Yep.
I'm not going to touch on it anymore. But
So you
the
think
second
less
time,
Reese and less Silver, huh?
it's just when they come back in season 6.
Okay.
I feel like before that, I actually do like how they're implemented throughout the series. It's just when Silver comes back in season 6, it just feels a little overused. Okay, he's been there. He's been the bad guy. We've defeated him. I don't really want to see that happen again, especially since that just happened like last season. So
Yeah.
I liked them in the beginning, but by the end, it was kind of bitter because they're a little overused.
5 was kind of the perfect, like, this is so bonkers and over the top, and we literally had a sword fight by his pool. Like, at the end of that, it was like, you really don't need him to come back ever again. Like, that's fine. That was a good way to send him off. It was fun to see how he brought it, how like the reveal is like, but but also you didn't need it.
So you
Yeah,
could have had
absolutely.
she blow up at the end of season 5, and somehow Wolf inherits Silver's money or something like that, and starts the Iron Dragon Dojo, and we put all of the villain plot to the Iron Dragons. Then maybe
I think that could work.
Yeah, if they
Okay.
built it, and that would have built it differently. That could have been more fun if they had built the Iron Dragons as a force on their own, and not just as another thing that Terry Silver can afford.
That probably weakened it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, or any others, Ruth? Overused characters: Kreese, Silver, and Samantha. Okay.
That's it.
What about you, Jesse? Overused characters.
Overused characters. I don't know. I want to say this one was one of the harder ones to do. Not because I already used her as my least favorite character. Like Jasmine was overused. I don't know. Like I loved Kyler in this one, so I don't feel like he was overused. I love Bobby too, and so I don't know, but he was almost overused in this. It's like anytime you need an extra Cobra Kai to just, I don't know, to just be the moral compass for Johnny, it's Bobby. Like
Okay.
I loved Bobby and I loved seeing him come back, but like after a certain point, it was like, okay, but Johnny doesn't have any friends. He's got Daniel, and once in a while he can go see Bobby. I don't know. I'm conflicted. But if I like gun to my head, which could have happened in this season, I would say Jasmine and Bobby.
Jasmine and Bobby. Okay. Mine was with Ruth. Samantha. I think we could have used Samantha less. And I kind of agree with her on the LaRussos. Anthony,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that you really needed much of him. In season 1, when I was watching it, he was kind of just a side character, cameo character. He was in the kitchen. He was in the, in the kind of the restaurant when they would go out. He was just kind of there. That we have another kid. Here he is. It's Anthony. Okay.
It was interesting to make him the bully, but then to have him join Miyagi-Do and even be almost in contention for Sekai Tekai, it was like, nah, I'm not buying it.
Yeah. So I think you could have done less, not eliminate Samantha and Anthony, but I think you could have pushed them down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it would have affected the storyline too much.
Yeah.
But here's a good one. How about underused characters? Who did you want to see more of, Jesse? Who did you want to see more screen time?
I don't know, because the ones I like, it's like I don't know that I'd want more of them. Like they got like just the right amount, it depends on what they would have done with Wolf. Like I don't like him as a character, but if they would have given us more of Wolf and given him more depth, because he has like no depth. He's just a bad guy. He's just like the kind of guy that Terry Silver would hire. And it's like, I don't know what his motivation is here other than to win. He's just the guy that says you need to win for the Soviet Union, Ivan Drago. Like that's his job, is just to be awful. So I mean, like, I don't know if I want more of him or not, but if I had more of him, maybe I'd appreciate him more. The other one would be like maybe Sensei Kim, or not Kim, but the old man. Well, Kim or the old man, really, just like the Korean Cobra Kai was like, all of a sudden the grandpa's there, and it was like, what? And I was like, we start to get some more depth into what's wrong with Kreese, and it's because he trained under that guy. Like, if I had more of him and understood him more, maybe everything would be that much more improved.
I like the Kim Kreese connection. Remember, he saved her from her grandfather beating her, basically.
Yes, yeah.
I didn't think about Kim. Yeah, I think Kim could have used more screen time. Yeah, I think I agree with you. She was a good character.
Yeah.
What about you, Ruth? What are some characters that you would have liked to seen a little bit more screen time?
I had also put Kim on my list.
Yep.
I just really liked her as a character. She wasn't. Girls can sometimes be kind of tricky to write, and she is one of those successful girl characters that they had written. I liked her. I liked her attitude. I like her throughout the series. I think that all of her choices make sense for her as a character. It doesn't feel very artificial. So I do like that about Kim. I wish there was a little bit more like real life Kim and less like Sensei Kim. But I still liked how they used her throughout the show. Also, Kenny is on my list. I actually really liked Kenny throughout the series. I wish that he had a little bit more screen time because he was a pretty interesting character.
Yeah, he was the most interesting thing about Anthony by far.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I had, now that I just thought of it, you mentioned Kenny, but we never really saw much more of Kenny's older brother. Remember, he was in prison?
Yeah.
No,
they
really.
used him to good effect in 6th season.
They did.
Yeah,
they did.
But he didn't. But then he disappears, and it's like, your brother's going to the world tournament. Maybe you should be there in some capacity. It was just a shot of him watching it at home. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. That would have worked. Yeah. My list was Homeless Lynn. They should have thrown.
Oh yeah, I was so looking forward to maybe they'd bring her back for the final scenes. I was like, oh, where's she at? She's gonna be there. She's like a series favorite.
Yeah, she doesn't need much screen time, but just a little 30-second, 1 minute clips here and there. Making fun of Stingray or something like that. Maybe something like that. Or maybe Stingray starts dating Homeless Lynn. Bring her home to mom.
Oh man.
Another I think I like Tori as a character. I think they could have used her more. So if you're going to decrease Sam, let's increase Tori maybe a little bit.
Well, and her mom, that storyline with her mom was that was great. The way that the whole captain fight was, like having her have those flashbacks was cool.
Yes, that was See, they built her character really well. Maybe Devin, they didn't use her at all, hardly in the last 5 episodes at all. She's an okay character, but they didn't really use her a lot.
She felt like the stand-in for Aisha when Aisha became like persona non grata in the show, and they wrote her out.
Another one they could have just thrown in was Kimiko a little more. Maybe have her meeting Sam in Okinawa when she was going over there, or maybe have her and another little talk with Daniel again. Hey, maybe instead of doing the dream sequence with Miyagi, have Kimiko talk to him and say, this is what Miyagi would have wanted you to do, or I don't know, somehow maybe throw her in there.
I would also throw in Dennis. They brought Dennis back into the series, and they just made him like a goon, just a Cobra Kai goon.
Yeah.
Who's gonna put Daniel into a dog kennel?
Yes. That was crazy.
And it was like such a non-cameo. They just mentioned his name, and it's like, if you don't know he was one of Mike Barnes's lackeys, then you don't even know who Dennis is, because he doesn't even look the same. Like, he's got long hair, he looks grungy in this. Like that. I feel like that was supposed to be our like big reveal cameo for. It was like, oh, we brought somebody back, because every season they seem to try to like surprise us with somebody they brought back from the Miyagi-verse, and it was Dennis. and you gave him nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody else got a little bit of character development. You know, like Mike Barnes got a little bit of character development even in this last season. But nope, not Dennis. Dennis is just going to be. He was once a goon, and he's still a goon.
Oh, it's still a goon. Yes.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned Barnes. I think they could have maybe used Barnes a little bit more. They did. They had good enough. So
Yeah.
honestly, it's probably enough. But
Right.
they could have thrown him in there in season 6 maybe a little bit if they wanted to. I don't know. A little bit more, I guess. But
Maybe like in that last part when they're like, "Oh, we're back in. It's back. So we really need someone to speed us up and get us to the finals." And he's the national champ. Yeah.
Have him help train Johnny or maybe Miguel or
yeah, train Johnny. That would have been a good way to do it.
Yeah,
if they're gonna do the stupid Johnny has to fight angle anyways, might as well have someone to spar with.
How do you really feel, Jesse?
It was dumb. It was dumb.
All right. Well, let's get to the rankings. So let's rank all 6 seasons from first, the one that you like the most to the one you like the least, and maybe a little bit why you have them where they're at. So let's start with you, Ruth. What's your number
season 4?
Season. Okay.
Is season 4.
Why is that?
Because I believe that's the first season that Silver comes into play, is season 4.
I think so, yes.
I really like Silver as a villain, just not in season 6.
Yes.
So, and I think he's the best villain because Kreese never felt like as much of a threat as Silver is. So it just felt like an upgrade to Kreese. And he's a lot smarter than Kreese is. So I just really like him as a character. And season 4 is when Kenny appears too. So I like Kenny. And then I think this is also the season when they kind of start to combine. I think at that point it's like Eagle Fang and Miyagi-Do.
Yes.
So when they start to merge together, so that's probably my top seasons. The seasons in between my favorite and my least favorite kind of switch around. But I do like season 2 because that has the school fight, which is a really cool scene.
Oh, yes.
And this is when Johnny figures out, maybe the original Cobra Kai way is not really the way it should be now. And then I have season 5 because of the final fight scene.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have season 3, and then I have season 1, and season 6 is my least favorite.
Oh,
season 1 is your second to least. I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of switching. I can't tell which ones I like more. Like the in between. I'm trying to figure out how to rank them, but that's like roughly.
It's easy to get your best and your worst, but everything in between is kind of gray.
Right, it's a little grayed out. But I do think before we wrap up today, we should do favorite series fight.
Oh, okay. Okay, so think about that. Okay.
Think about that. Have that brewing.
Okay. How about you, Jesse? What's your favorite and all the way down to your least favorite?
Okay. I'm going to go with season 1 is still my favorite season because it sets the whole premise. If that one doesn't work, nothing works, really. I mean,
Good point.
Yeah, because, we don't care if Johnny doesn't have a point at all, right? So that's my top one.
Okay.
I think I would say... this is where I was having a hard time remembering what happens in season 3 and season 4. But I wanted to say like kind of season 3 and season 4 are kind of like tied because they were both really good seasons. Yeah. I like the build up. So I would almost go with 4 for second, because if that's the one where we get the evolution, the intro and evolution of Silver, then that's probably my second favorite. That one is. And then I would probably say 6, just because after looking at it, not as the 3 desperate parts, because I kind of hated that, but like if I could have watched it straight through, I think I have a better appreciation of 6. And I kind of like how they bookended it, and I think that they always said, we know how it ends. If we can get there, we know how it ends. And I kind of agree that this is probably how they thought they were going to end it. Like, I think that this is actually what their plan was all along, because it does feel like it just came full circle. it's not the greatest ending ever, but it is kind of like a nice little closure, and like it just puts a little period at the end of Johnny's story, which really is the whole kind of the deal of this whole series. Is like this is kind of Johnny's story. That's why it's called Cobra Kai. So then it would be like 3, and I like 5, so 5 would have to be before the end. So I really, like 5. There was a lot of things that happened in 5, but 5 was so bonkers that it was like anybody that left this series at this point, I get it. If you're out before 5, totally understand, because trying to explain 5 to somebody that doesn't care, and like, hey, you should really watch Cobra Kai. Let me tell you about season 5. No, that's not the one that I'm going to sell them the series on. And then actually my least favorite season, or at least on paper, maybe I need to just go back and rewatch it, was season 2, because that's also a point where people kind of fell off too, where they were like, okay, it felt, it was suspension of disbelief and all, but then that school fight, and I was out. Like I've talked to so many people who were like, that school fight was it. I couldn't believe it. It was too much. And I was like, really? I mean, that was kind of cool. So like, I like all of them. So 2 being at the bottom is not really I'm not really throwing it too much shade. I still love it. And we got that awesome like demonstration of Cobra Kai at the whatever, the All Valley Fest or something.
Yeah, that was great.
Like they got that. You were introduced to Stingray. Like there's so many cool things that happen in season 2, but it's the summer and nothing really happens until we get back to school. And then there's a gigantic fight. It's all drama and then a little karate at the end.
Yes.
So that's why 2's at the bottom for me.
Okay. Good point. Okay. Well, my favorite is season 3, just because of what I alluded to earlier with the nostalgia of Allie and Johnny and Daniel all together. That just was, just the way they ended it was great. Was great, where they just kind of say we're friends, but that was the past. So I like that one. And then, like Jesse said, season 1 second, because that's where it all started. You can't have any of them without that one. It was just a great concept. And then season 2, season 4, and then 4 and 5, I could move around. 5 maybe would be, no, I don't know. 4 was really good. 4 and 5 were pretty close. And then season 6, of course, I have to put it last. I just I think
okay.
He said it was too far apart. If I went back and watched them again, season 6, I'd probably like it a little bit better, but I think that's why it just lost some gas. Well, lost gas because of 2 reasons. It went on at least one season too long, and then number 2, you spread it out. So, but yeah, it ended okay. So, well, here's the question: do you want to see another season or some sort of continuation of the series? Ruth, what do you want? What do you?
No, I don't. I got 6 seasons of content, and I think there's a movie coming as well. So no, I don't want to see anything else. They've built up a pretty big universe so far, compared to the Karate Kid movies. And they've already competed internationally. Like, where are you gonna go from there with at least that group of people? I don't know. I'm pretty satisfied with where they went with it and what they did and what characters they built. I don't really want to see anything else. I know we are going to see other things in this universe, even though we don't want to, but I don't. If I had a choice, no, I probably wouldn't want to see anything else.
Okay. What about you, Jesse? What's your vote? Do you want to see another season or something?
I don't want to see any more Cobra Kai. I like where they left Johnny. Like I like those final scenes of Johnny. I like the idea that Cobra Kai is his Cobra Kai is what won the Sekai Tekai. I like that it put him back on his own. Like for a lot of these later seasons, it's like Johnny is he's kind of getting his footing, but he's still having to ride the LaRusso coattails. And now he doesn't have to work at the LaRusso Auto Group. He can be a sensei. and just do what he's good at, and so that's where I want it to end for Johnny. Is I want him to go on being his own man, because he finally got his way in the world. What I have heard is that they were talking about doing a spin-off with the Binary Brothers, like them going off to college together, and I was like, okay, I suppose that could be like, if you're going to do a spin-off, I suppose that's weird enough that it could stand on its own, because it doesn't have to be all about karate, but also Hawk is super karate guy. So like, that could be fun. It'd be a weird, like, it'd be a weird deal. Like, I don't know how you do that. I did really like seeing Kyler and Brooks in this last season, so like the college adventures isn't completely out of the realm of like, would I watch it, but I don't know that I'm asking for it either. I don't need it or want it. Most of these kids, that's the problem too, is like most of these kids, because we got 6 seasons and we were interrupted by COVID and everything else, Miguel doesn't look like a kid at all anymore. He looks like a man. I mean, like, they all look like tiny adults. Yeah. So, I mean, they always kind of did, but now they really do. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so.
How Johnny, when he's teaching Cobra Kai, he's just like making fun of the kids. Remember, he's like, lose the glasses.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a dork like this guy. He's typical Johnny. I love how they just throw that little bit of spice in there that Johnny's still Johnny.
Even Stingray's version out in Coyote Creek, where he's like pretending that he's Johnny, and he's even got the boombox of Kreese talking and whatnot. But then he's like, and Snot over there, Booger. I actually can't call him that. Apparently, Revenge of the Nerds didn't age very well.
Yes. Yes. Well, my opinion is, if we're going to see another continuation of Cobra Kai, let's wait maybe 10 years and focus on the kids and just have some very small cameos by Johnny and Daniel, but just have it be the kids get back together maybe, and Robbie and Tori come back, they're married and they want to help out in Cobra Kai, and then Miguel and Samantha have a kid, or maybe even Johnny. Well, Johnny's kid would only be 10 years old. I don't know, but it would definitely have to be way less Johnny and Daniel and more the kids.
Yeah.
If they do it, but we need to put it to bed for at least 10 years, maybe longer. I just don't think we need to do anything right away.
I think if they had sped it up a bit, it would be more ripe for the spinoffs, partly because the kids would still look slightly like kids.
Yeah. You could do, but I think the kids need to be adults. They need to be in their 20s or 30s if we're going to do it. And maybe, I don't know how the storyline would go. I don't know. But anyway, we need to wait for a while. So, all right, Ruth, favorite fight scenes.
Favorite fight.
I already kind of know, I think, what you're going to say, but what's your favorite? Maybe one or two.
I'll go with 2. Obviously, I really like the school fight scene, because that's like the first time that they're fighting out of an arena, and like there's no rules at all, no ref, no senseis, no nothing. So it's just like a really cool transition that they made in the show. But I also really, and I think I like this one slightly more, it's in season 3 when I think it's Cobra Kai attacks the LaRusso house.
Yep.
Yes.
I really like that one. Like,
that's
the shots are really good. I think that there isn't as much like cutting around like normal action scenes typically are. And, you can see the kids fighting and just all the different terrain and them using their environment. I really like that scene as well. That's probably my favorite. The season 5 finale fight is also really good, but I think I like the season 3 one slightly more.
Yeah, was it season 5 or the one of them where Daniel and Kreese fight at the Cobra Kai dojo?
I think that's season 3,
2, 1.
They all mesh together.
Yeah,
it's hard to. That one was good, where he uses Chosen's paralyzing punches on Kreese, and they're both, Johnny's nodding at him. Yeah, you need to finish him, but the kids interrupt him from finishing Kreese off. So, and that's also where we see Johnny and Robbie fighting each other. So that one was good, I thought. But yeah, it's kind of funny, Ruth, that and Jesse mentioned it. Oh, I'm sorry, Jesse. What was your favorite fight? Sorry.
I'm gonna get weird with them. No, I don't know. First of all, I'll co-sign and say that the season 2 and season 3 fights were the best choreography, and they got robbed at the Emmys because the stunt coordinators were nominated for both of those seasons, and they should have won at least one of them because I've seen some behind the scenes stuff on how they managed to do that. They did that the house scene in one take. And anytime they weren't on camera, they were like moving pieces of furniture and stuff to make the scene work. Like that third season fight in the LaRussos is kind of a masterpiece. So yes, I would say that's probably, huh?
They did that in one take.
There's a lot of it that is in one take at the very least, because they were showing how it works. They were I think it might have been on the season 2 DVD that they were like breaking it down and how it works. I can't remember exactly where I saw that, but yeah, it was like, oh yeah, this is how this works. Like so when I'm out of the scene, then it's my job to move this thing so that they don't trip over it, because it's a really confined space, because this isn't on a lot. This isn't like the school, where the school was like a set that we could, or no, the school was a real school too. So same kind of deal, where you'd see like there are scenes where it's like this person rolls out of the scene so that then the stunt double can come in and do a certain move, and then they move like it's like a dance. It's crazy. So yeah, it would be those two fight scenes are like tied, but I think I would give the edge to the season 3 one, just because the space is even more confined. And then I would have it. I would tie two more that are just kind of, one's dumb and one is more drama than anything. And that is in season 6. I would give a tie to the college fight, where Kyler, Brooks, and the boys are all on the same side for once. And it was just fun to watch. It was just dumb fun. That was kind of a dumb fun fight. Yeah. And then the other one that's just a fun dramatic beat was the fight between Sam and Tori right after Tori's mom dies. Like that gave it an emotional weight to the fight scene that a lot of the other fights didn't have. So I kind of cheated and gave you 4.
That's all right. I think it's kind of funny that we like the school fight scene, but just like I think Jesse mentioned, a lot of people were turned off by the school fight scene.
Yeah.
So it's almost like either you like it or you don't.
Yeah.
Maybe just because of how it ended, people didn't like it.
Could be, yeah.
I just or at least one person just said it was dumb. I'm like, not really. These guys are all out at school together. They're gonna get in a fight.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's very embellished, and
sure.
Of course, Stingray's going to step in. I'm a security officer, whatever. He was trying to be a security person.
Yeah.
He steps in. And another one that I thought was really fun just to see was Barnes and Johnny fighting in season.
That was another dumb one, but super fun. Also, when they were like, when Daniel and Johnny are chasing the people who steal cars.
Yes.
And they have that fight there, and then the scene that where Johnny's trying to teach Daniel how to be Cobra Kai, and he's like he gets him in a fight at a hockey match like that. So, I mean, there was a lot of good fun in the series overall, but
the big brawls though, yeah. That's what they were trying to shoot for on the season finales, was the fight at the LaRussos and the fight at the school, and then the final fight at Silver's house. And
that one was too much for me. I think after the LaRusso fight, they were trying to top themselves, and it's like, no, you didn't need to top yourself. Those two were like chef's kiss.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough to come up with something different all the time, and that's why you had tag team karate fighting in the tournament,
right,
on the ledge and all that stuff. And just it's tough to do. I
Yeah.
understand. It's hard to jump the shark. So, but I agree. Those fight scenes were awesome. So, it's tough to figure out which one you like the best. And you notice we never picked any of the tournament fights.
No.
We were,
Well, because
nobody's
they're
like,
so
"Yeah, let's
standard.
do
You're
this."
like, they're good.
Yeah.
They were good.
Yeah,
You can only do
Like
so
season-
much with it.
with the tournaments. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
How many
That's
tournaments
why-
did we get? We got the first initial tournament, and then we got one more All Valley tournament, and then they really milked the Sakai Tekai.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Saikai Taikai was the big one.
Because season 1 had one. The last season.
There was like a qualifier in 5, right?
I think so. No? Oh, yeah.
Was it a
yes,
tournament?
Yes. Season 5, yeah, qualifying for the Saikai Taikai. Yes, you're right. Yep. Because they had to show the guy Gunther or whatever his name was from Germany, had to show him their type of, they had to impress him or whatever. That was in season 5. Yes.
Oh, you know who I also enjoyed seeing come back? And again, I think they were just used about the perfect amount, was the All Valley board.
Yes.
That's a badass name for a dojo.
Yes. And the comment about the mats. I think they really
Yeah.
like the mats. Because
Yeah,
remember in
yeah.
season 1, you
Right.
wanted the new mats.
Right.
That was great. Yes. And we didn't get any cameo singers like we did in season 4. I think.
Oh, right. You're right. That was a big point of contention.
And we were just like, I remember when we talked about, they're like,
The Carrie Underwood was in season
Carrie
5
Underwood
or something.
like
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey guys, I really enjoyed talking to you about Cobra Kai, and we got a Cobra Kai movie. So I don't know if that's coming with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio.
Yeah.
the
Supposedly
next
this
Karate-
happens so many years after Cobra Kai. So that's going to explain some of the why we won't see them-ness of a lot of characters.
Yeah. I think maybe, did you guys catch it at the very final scene in the final season? There's two guys talking about the Cobra Kai universe in the restaurant. He was like,
Well, yeah, those were the showrunners. That was Hayden and yeah, that was kind of fun.
yeah, I like how they just kind of throw that. It's going to take
Yeah.
place kind of in the universe, is not, it's like
Right.
That's
Yeah, that was fun.
so funny. Cool. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Any final comments about Cobra Kai?
Cobra Kai never dies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.